Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I am your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 24th of November at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I also want to welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room, and you can find that by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number 2radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. If you've not joined before, you'll want to ask for entry and Scott will gladly let you in the room. So that is how to do it. And I'm also live streaming this event. You can see it on YouTube or on Facebook under Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic. And I shared it into the chat room just now as well, so you can find it there if you'd rather watch than just listen. And I do have some show and tell today, so just FYI. Oh, now listen, I'm keeping an eye on both chats. So whether you are in the chat room, there's my banner at the top of the page, and there'll be plenty of people chatting there. Or if you are watching from the live stream and commenting there, I'm keeping an eye on both so I can see both. So if you have a question or a comment for me, that would be the place to do so. Okay, well, guys, happy Thanksgiving. Something Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are I hope you're having a good week. I realize that this Thanksgiving might be a pretty lonely and shitty day for a lot of people, There's definitely a lot of not really being able to be together this year. And that's certainly the case for my family. I will have my husband and kids home, of course, but my sister's families both have COVID. And so we won't be spending Thanksgiving together, which is really weird for us because spending Thanksgiving together is something that we have absolutely always done. But it is what it is, and it's just one holiday. It's not worth taking a risk on for sure. So, I know a lot of you guys will feel that way too. But I want to let you know a couple of things. First of all, I will be available at 1-2-Listen the entire week and weekend, including all day on Thanksgiving. So if you need me, I will be there. I will be there on video chat as well as the phone lines and regular chat. So I'll be available to you in any form that you might need. I also want to let you know that if you want to rub shoulders with me that night, Christy and I will be doing our regular live stream on Thanksgiving evening through our YouTube channel, which is True Crime Paranormal. So if you want to come and hang out with us at 8 p.m. Mountain Time on Thanksgiving night, come over there and do that. That might be a way to stall some of the loneliness and have something to look forward to. But I would love to see you over there. So lots of good stuff happening. All right. Speaking of True Crime Paranormal, I wanted to share a couple of cases with you. We have been working hard on getting our shit together over there. And we have 2 cases out already this week. We have Thanksgiving Horror, the Blount family bombing, and Janet Moses, Makatu lifting gone wrong. Both of them are really interesting cases. The Janet Moses case particularly, that is a case of Maori people in New Zealand that were performing an exorcism of sorts, and it went very wrong, and she died. And we examined that case and what went on with it. So I put a link in the chat room for our page on YouTube, so you can find all of our shows there if you're interested in that. We also have a website, finally. So we're very excited about that. Christy put it together. She did a beautiful job with it. It is True Crime Paranormal. I should have written this out before the show. Podcast.com. So truecrimeparanormalpodcast.com. You can go over there and see literally everything we are doing, including connecting to our Patreon account and seeing all of our shows in both the podcast form and the video form. and buy merch, or at least look at merch and all of that stuff. So true crime paranormalpodcast.com is where you want to go to see all of that. So that's pretty fun as well. Hello, I'm seeing lots of you guys in the chat room. Welcome, you guys. Thanks for being here. So we have all of our regular stuff to do today, but I also want to, I'm going to talk about energy work today, kind of in a broader form of what is energy work, how did I land in doing energy work, and what are some of the modalities I practice, and of course, we'll do some energy work as well. So if you could use a balancing or a healing or a cord pulled, or there's something up with you, drop it in the chat room and I'll see what I can do today on our way through. I am still working on, but I'm very excited that we are on the 18th of December going to do a holiday special. That's a Friday. It'll be a full day of holiday shows. So hopefully you guys can come and play with us that day. It'll be here on 1-2 Radio, and I've been working on it all week with various hosts and getting some shows organized and put together, and it's going to be awesome. I'm very, very excited about the radio theater piece because Kelly's spearheading it. We have so many actors and actresses around here in the group, so everyone's excited about that. I am way excited about that. And there's lots of other stuff too. So anyway, I hope you guys can hang out and come plan on that Friday, the 18th. And then, of course, those shows will all be archived, so you could listen to them anytime you wanted over the Christmas break. But that's what's going on with that. And I'm just excited. All right. A new little segment, kind of new, I guess. Here is that from now until Christmas, I am going to have a little gift guide every show because I do have an Etsy store, and I honestly need to sell some of the things that I make because I'm running out of room. This house is turning into my craft room, like the whole house. So I'm going to share a few things with you today, and I'm going to do that every week until Christmas. So you can, I don't know, look forward to that or not. I don't know. But first of all, I'm going to share my little, my bath spells. So they are little test tubes that are a bath spell. So there's a protection spell. And what they are, they're layered with salt and different herbs for bathing in for that purpose. So there is protection, self-love, abundance, and seeking love. And those are the ones that I have, and they come together in one set. And I would love to send those to you. I love these a ton. They're so cute, and they're a great gift. They're also awesome little stocking stuffers, or they would be great just for you. So the way you use them is you put the entire test tube in your bath, in your hot water, and then soak in it for a little while and just let those that combination of plant magic and bath magic just do its job. So it's so I do have those. I just put them together yesterday. I actually made I made a bunch of these for that witches fair that I did earlier this fall, and sold out of them in no time. So I thought that might be something you guys would like in Etsy as well. So there are those. And then let's see. Oh, my smudge sticks. This fall, we did harvest a bunch of smudge that we wrapped into sticks, and I also combined that with plant magic. And so the smudge that I have just, regular sage sticks alone. I have sage wrapped with rose petals. I have sage wrapped with rosemary. And I have sage wrapped with lavender. And there's a reason behind all of those. It's a really powerful thing to combine the sage with other plants. And the reason that we do this sage, so this is desert sage, And the reason that we do desert sage is because white sage is becoming a closed practice because it's been so overforested because of the New Age movement that we are being asked to stop using it. And which is fine because there's lots of sage here in the US, tons of it. You don't have to have white sage. White sage burns a little differently and it smells a little differently, but it doesn't do any different job. So just know that that's why we're doing that these days and trying to get away from white sage is because it's environmentally sound and it's respectful to indigenous tribes that use white sage and have had a hard time getting it because of all of us. But I want you to know that the reason we wrap with various things. So with rosemary, rosemary is an amplifier of other plant magic energies. So rosemary is going to amplify the clearing and purification properties of the sage. And so you use rosemary when there's been paranormal activity in a space because it amps up the properties. When we use lavender, we are working on any time that there has been trauma. If there's been trauma in the home or the space, if there's been like a violent act or something like that that needs to be cleared up, that's why we would use lavender. We use rose for matters of the heart, grief, loss, divorce, anything like that that needs that specific kind of clearing. And we just use plain sage bundles when you're just clearing the regular energetic debris that builds up in your house. So that's why you would burn various ones and what they mean. So it's kind of nice, I think, to just have some on hand if you need them. And then you can smudge whenever you feel like you need to or want to. And then lastly, I have my little keychains that are kind of fun I wanted to share with you. I've shared these with you guys before, but these are also fun gifts and I kind of love them. So they're my floral keychains and they come with either a key or a feather in them. They're super, super cute. And you can choose the size or the color of the tassel, and then you can choose whether you want a key or a feather. So that's how they come. And I love these. They're darling. I've given a ton of these as gifts to some of my family members, to some of the kids, particularly that loved them. But anyway, if that's something that resonates with you, those might be a good gift too. So that was my thought. I'm just bringing a little gift guide to the surface. So if there's anything you guys are interested in or want, let me know. I also have been pouring a lot of custom resin pieces, memorial pieces, and things like that. And so if that is something that you want a custom piece for some reason, let me know. I can probably do it. I will let you know if I can't, but if I can, I'll definitely do it for you. So that's what's going on in my store. I actually have something really cool coming out maybe today, probably tomorrow. But I've been working on putting together some more space clearing stuff. This will be a set that has the really large abalone shells that are getting hard to get, honestly. And it has a really nice clearing feather, a big one, a big clearing feather that has several different feathers, a clearing wand. And then also you'll get 5 bundles of sage. So that'll be coming out. Keep an eye on my Etsy store. That'll be coming out here in the next few days. But I was trying to have them done yesterday, but you know how, the best laid plans go to hell. That's what happened to me yesterday. I got quite a bit done. Just I was a little ambitious and I think what I thought I could get done. So we'll see. Hopefully I can work on them today. But the truth is, my kids are all at the end of their semesters, and 2 of them have finals this week and their semester's over, which is great. It is also an enormous amount of stress on them and, sometimes on me when they need help and ideas and comfort. And, it's I thought having babies was, tasking and time consuming. That's nothing compared to these young adults. Not that I would trade them for anything or these experiences for anything, but wow, the stress is real, you guys. I know you know, because I know that a lot of you guys have been dealing with a hell of a lot of stress too. So, we're all in this together, right? But there has been a lot of stress on the table for everyone. I was kind of torn today because usually I do fairy tale tarot as close as I can to the full moon. And I usually do it, before the full moon. But here's the thing, the full moon is on Monday. So I decided not to do it and wait until next Tuesday. So we'll do Fairy Tale Tarot a day after the full moon, which I don't feel bad about. I think it'll be fine. But that's what I'm thinking because it just seems too far away today, you know? So I guess we wait. We definitely wait. It's okay. Okay. I want to bring your attention to Luminous Magazine. This is, of course, the magazine that I publish. Wow, I just totally messed it up. Hold on. I was copying you a link and I did something else. Okay. I publish Luminous every Tuesday morning. It is a compilation of work from me and some of my friends and colleagues. And I always want to make sure you guys have seen it and that we talk a little bit about what's inside the cover. And I'm excited about it this week. It's the Give Thanks edition, of course. And it's okay. So I put a link in the chat room for it if you haven't seen it. But you can also just head over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Luminous Magazine button, and it's all there. So easy enough to do it that way as well. But let's take a look. So again, I did call it the Give Thanks edition because here we are, or Giving Thanks edition. And I always feel like this is my opportunity to also give my thanks to you guys for all that you bring into my life. My career of being able to be a professional psychic advisor, of being able to work with all of you incredible souls, it wouldn't be what it is without you guys, without your support, without your belief in me, and without you showing up to these shows and rubbing shoulders and, being a part of my process. So, as always, I want to thank you from my heart, from my soul, from my family. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I am so grateful that you're all a part of my world. I hope that you know that. I truly do. So, it's a good day for thank yous. All righty. My musings this week was just a little more about true crime paranormal and the goals that we set. It's kind of a fun thing because we started true crime paranormal at the end of February in 2020. And we weren't really sure what to expect. We set a couple of goals. I'm big on setting goals. I by this date I'd like to have done this or that, and it's just a part of manifesting for me. And so we had set a goal when we first started that we wanted to reach 500 listeners or 500 subscribers, sorry, on YouTube by the end of the year. So hopefully by the end of the year we'd have 500 subscribers and we could monetize on YouTube, because that's what you have to do. You have to have 500 subscribers and I think 3,000 listening hours before you can monetize. So that was our goal, to hit that, as well as being able to hit somewhere around 1,000 or, hopefully a few thousand podcast downloads, right? For the year. Those are pretty modest goals, but we didn't know what to expect. Well, by the end of May and into June, we had hit that 500 subs on YouTube and we were monetizing. And so we've actually been monetized for the whole second half of the year. So we hit that goal 6 months ahead of schedule, which was pretty cool. And yesterday, Christy was showing me some of the stats from our podcast. We are at 28,000, heading quickly to 29,000 downloads as we speak. We're also nearly to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. So It's those are big numbers for us. I know other people, they go bigger. That's okay. But for us, that's pretty huge. And we're just really excited and grateful for the opportunities that we've had so far. So I wanted to share that because I believe in celebrating success. I want to celebrate yours. I want to let you help me celebrate mine. I know that we are stronger together. And when we celebrate success in whatever form it is, we invite more of that into our lives. And so that's where I am. With that being said, I'm going to invite you guys, as we talk about gratitude today, I'd like to invite you guys to also share any successes that you would like to with me that I can share with the group that we can talk about together. I want us to be able to share success together. It never makes sense to me when you see people tearing down successful people. You see that sometimes, you see people that are kind of, they just don't want to see anybody succeed. And it's very hard to succeed yourself when you are unable to let other people have success. And so it is to me one of probably the most important tools of manifesting that we have in celebrating the successes of others and allowing that to propel us versus letting our ego convince us that if someone else is succeeding, we're not, right? There's enough for everybody. So, if there's anything you want to share with me, successes from this year up to this point, even if it's just, you've managed to not become an alcoholic, whatever. I know it's been the weirdest year any of us have ever experienced, for sure. All right. Well, let's keep moving here. Kelly's scopes this week, thoughts of bread and badassness. Let's look. This is bitch scopes, of course. Let's take a look at a couple of things. First of all, what is going on? Oh, there's nothing really in the skies today. Very exciting. But tomorrow, Mercury quincunx North Node. Your ideas and ideals may clash with the norm. You can get there from here, even if here is weird. Oh, well, what do we say around here, right? We love weird. Weird's normal. I love it. Thanks, Kelly. And on that note, let's see. That's tomorrow. So on the 28th, on Thanksgiving Day, Neptune is direct. I went retrograde in June, so that's been 5 months. During the retrograde, Neptune says to be cautious about an unchecked imagination. Now we will have better intuition and discernment. Nice. As well as Mercury sextiles Jupiter, optimistic thinking, and future planning. Good to note. Those are both days on Thanksgiving. So optimistic thinking for Thanksgiving. Let's hope. Okay. Let's take a look at Sagittarius. I am very sorry, Scorpio, but it's not your birthday anymore. Yep, it's over. It's now Sag's birthday. So let's look at her bitch scope for Sag. She says, you know what you should do this week? Anything you want to. For real. I know the world is always telling you that you're too this and too that and unrealistic and lost in your dreams, etc. Well, this week, screw that. You do you. I'm not even going to put any modifying statements in there. Whatever it is, you need it right now. The full moon is significant for you this week as well. Do some writing leading up to the full moon and do a ceremony for whatever the hell you want. I love it. Thank you, Kelly. So there you go, Sag. Permission granted. Do whatever the hell you want. My mom had an ongoing policy that I do what I want when I want, and she did. And I adopted that into adulthood, and my kids know mom does what she wants when she wants. And that is where it's at. I recommend that you all adopt that to some degree. Okay, I know. There are some things you can't do, right? You can't go into Walmart without pants on. You can't there are things you probably have to do at work, But in your life in general, do what you want when you want. Honestly, it's a good way to live. We have lived in a society that puts so many restrictions on us, especially any of us that have come from organized religion where there was a whole lot of don't do what you want when you want. And I'm just not here for it. I'm not. I want to just not limit me, and I don't want to limit you. So there you go. All righty. My tip this week, I give you guys this tip every single Thanksgiving. If you've been with me for years, you're probably just damn sick of it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway because I love it. Bring gratitude to the table with candle magic. So the idea is that you get chime candles, they're just the little ones. But you wouldn't have to use chime candles. You could use whatever you have. And you put one in a holder at each place setting. Before the meal, you ask each guest to hold their candle into their heart and bless it with anything that they want to. Gratitude for the new year, gratitude for the year that has come, whatever. And then light the candles and allow them to burn down during the meal, filling the universe with gratitude. And with candle magic, when the candle goes out and the last wisp of smoke is released, that's when the last of those prayers and affirmations are released into the universe. And that's how you do it. Chime candle holders can be a little daunting if you need a whole bunch of them, but you can use shot glasses with a little bit of rice or popcorn in them. You can buy the little pumpkins and hollow them out with a sharp knife to just put a candle down in. The oranges, like little clementines, work really well for this, as do apples. So you could use a food source and then maybe, toss that to the birds or the squirrels when you're done with them. But that's a fun way to, sans candles, of course. But that's a fun way to be able to bring some candle magic to your Thanksgiving table. If the idea of bringing magic to the Thanksgiving table is not something your family's going to resonate with, I get it. I highly recommend that you go ahead and just do it on your own, right? You can do it before or after Thanksgiving dinner and do your own candle magic, or put a big candle or a candelabra on the table and bless them yourself. You could sure do that too. Nobody has to know just how magical the meal is unless you tell them. All right. There's lots more in Luminous. I'll let you guys go through it, of course. And that is really all I have on to say on that, the edition this week. But I do hope you guys have a chance to read it. As always, if you want to subscribe to receive Luminous every week, just go over to katie-weaver.com and there'll be a pop-up that comes up. If you subscribe there, I will send you 8 emails a week. You'll get Luminous on Tuesday mornings, and every single morning you will get the Daily Dish. So I send out the Daily Dish as a daily reading first thing in the morning to help you navigate the energies of the day. And, they've been wild lately. And I've heard from a lot of you guys lately how much those words hit home and how helpful it was. So I appreciate that. I hope that hope I can continue to help you. So there you go. This month, actually, the Daily Dish turns 3. So we have now sent out nearly 1,000 daily dishes. Can you believe that? Yeah. that's a that's pretty cool, isn't it? I think it's kind of awesome. I love the numbers. I love looking at the numbers of, how things are lining up, and I'm very excited about how the daily dish is done. So, kind of fun. All right. I'm seeing some of your questions come up in the chat room, and I'm going to get to as many of them as I can. Let me see if there's anything else here I needed to address before we keep going. Let's see. Sometimes chat rooms don't make for great radio. If you're just reading a few things here. Okay. Alrighty. Let's keep going then. Facebook does this weird thing now that I don't like the way they put your comments. They put top comments instead of just putting things in chronological order. You just have to remember to change it so that you can, because I just want to see where things came in at. Anyway, whatever. First world problem for sure. Life is actually fine, right? Okay. Pamela said she's very grateful for being able to return to work after being on sick leave for 2 years and very grateful to be able to work from home. That's a huge accomplishment, Pamela. I know you have come a very long ways with your health here in the last couple of years, and it's not been for plenty of working hard to get there. So, a big congratulations to you on that. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So, I want to talk about energy work. When I was 19, I went on my honeymoon. Well, I got married, then I went on my honeymoon. Scott and I drove our car to California to go to Disneyland. And from Anaheim, we were heading to, uh, oh Lord, I can't remember. We were heading near San Francisco to his aunt's house for a few days. And we got in a car wreck in Los Angeles on the freeway. And it wasn't our fault. The traffic in front of us just stopped really fast, and the car behind us didn't stop and clipped us. And the car was drivable, injured, but drivable. And, it didn't seem like the biggest deal. But by the time we got home from our honeymoon, I was experiencing an enormous amount of pain in my body. Neck and shoulders, yes. I had a whiplash injury, I think, from the accident, but I didn't go to the doctor. Like didn't think I was that hurt. We were also 19 years old and had never been in a wreck and had no idea what to do. And, we did the insurance thing and the police report. We did all of that right. But I didn't really know what else to do. So at the time, I was in college and I was working at Kmart part time. And within 2 weeks of getting home from that honeymoon, I was in so much pain that just being able to get through an 8-hour shift at work, I was coming home in tears. My hips and legs and ankles and feet were in agony. And that set me on a journey of trying to figure out what was wrong with me. My poor husband, I would get home from work at night and he'd help me into the bathtub because it was the only place I wasn't in pain. And he would fix dinner and bring it to me there. I got to a point that year where I couldn't put my hands over my head long enough to do my hair without being in a lot of pain. And so I started going to doctors and naturopaths and trying to get an answer. And it started out kind of scary. They thought maybe I had MS. They thought I had lupus. They thought I had, you know, they tested me for everything under the sun. Finally, the rheumatologist decided I had fibromyalgia. That's kind of back when fibromyalgia became a dustbin diagnosis of, okay, you have lots of pain and we don't know why, fibromyalgia, right? And he put me on muscle relaxers and sleeping pills, and I started feeling better. Weird, but better. So for a couple of years, we operated that way, and I did feel better to some degree. I was still tired and I still had pain, but it wasn't nearly as intense as it had been. But then I really wanted to have a baby and didn't feel like I could do that taking all of this medication. So I started taking myself off of it, and the pain returned. And that's when I started looking down a more natural path. Not that I don't, still go to the rheumatologist and take medicine because I do, but I learned more about my body and about my spirit and about maybe why I was responding in such a visceral, physical way to what was going on in my life. Part of my challenge had been that I had a mother in law who was very volatile and mentally ill. And strangely, when Scott and I were dating, and we dated all the way through high school, she loved me. She adored me, was super, super good to me. And as soon as we got engaged, that all changed. And suddenly she hated me and hated my family and hated everything about us and would tell anybody that would listen. that Scott was ruining his life and making the biggest mistake. And I was dumbfounded, but it was just kind of whatever. And then as we started having, after we got married and started building our little family, things were very off and on with her. Sometimes we were in an okay place with her, and other times we didn't see her or speak for months because it had gotten so ugly. And I didn't realize how much her hatred of me and her negative energy towards me was affecting my physical health. I was letting it. I didn't know any better. And I went to a naturopathic chiropractor who did a bunch of muscle testing. And one of the first things he said after the muscle testing was, "Tell me about that relationship with your mother in law because she's making you sick." And I was shocked. I hadn't said anything to him about my mother in law. Frankly, I hadn't said anything about being married. But in all the testing he did, he would whisper. You couldn't hear what he was saying. He would did the kind where you lay on your stomach and you put your foot, towards you bend your knee up and then he pushes on it and you're supposed to resist it. And then he's whispering all of this stuff. At any rate, from that, he deduced that one of the reasons I was sick and that my body was responding so poorly was because of the energy from her, my relationship with her. I was stunned. But that was the first I really understood of, well, not the first, but that was one of the lessons I received in empathy, in allowing other people to attack you, in carrying the energy of other people. It took me a long time to understand that it wasn't my fault. I was horrified. You guys know I come from a family that loves each other and supports each other and takes care of each other and would never treat each other this way. But unfortunately, that was not the way she operated. It took me a long time to realize that it was mental illness talking, and it wasn't me, but it was me. It took me a long time to start shielding myself from her and from other family members that she had, convinced that I was the worst thing ever. And it took a long time. But when I started understanding that my relationship with her, that the energy I was getting from her was that toxic, that it was contributing to the illness in my body, I had to start figuring out what to do about that. Now, lucky for me, my older sister Christy was already a Reiki master. She had studied Reiki because of her own diagnosis and health issues. And I went through Reiki attunements with her. And I started doing energy work and I started feeling better. And I started realizing that I could be in control of the energy around me. I didn't have to understanding that. When I was a senior in high school, I had major stomach surgery. And now I know I was probably taking in a lot of energy that wasn't mine from, chaotic kids and family members and things. But I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different, right? And so after becoming a Reiki master and practicing energy work a lot, I learned a lot about how to take care of myself. And as I was having my babies, how to take care of them and my home, and how to really work with the energy around me. That's how the study of energy work really started for me. Over the years, and everyone goes through this, over the years, the longer you do energy work, the more different it gets. You change, you evolve, your spirit changes, your understanding changes, and you keep shifting. And so it shifts and changes from the way you might have worked even a year ago. It may be different than the way you work now, and that's okay. That's how it should be. But over the years, I've picked up multiple additional modalities that have helped me a lot. And so I started with Usui Reiki, and then I moved on to Kundalini Reiki, And then Christy developed a form of Reiki that we taught in our clinic for many years called Insight Reiki that I mostly probably practice the most now. But again, you just become the healer that you are. I don't think that it's really necessary to put a lot of labels on, you know, what kind of thing you practice, because ultimately, the more you practice, the more you just become the healer that you are, not necessarily one from a book, you know. But that's kind of how it started for me. I studied ethereal crystals and expanded on ethereal crystals. And so, ethereal crystals is the practice of calling forth the energy of a stone and placing it in a person, place, or thing. For example, I might, when I'm working with a client whose energy is very low and flat, I might put a Herkimer diamond in their crown chakra to brighten them up and give them an extra boost of energy. Or maybe someone who has chronic bladder infections, maybe I'll put a ruby in their bladder to help fight that infection. Or maybe someone lives or works in an office building that has, thousands of people around or hundreds of people around, and they're feeling very affected by their energy. Maybe I'll use the energy of selenite to protect their space or to maybe clear the whole building. I mean, there's lots of ways that ethereal crystals can be used, but now using ethereal crystals is just second nature to me. It's a part of the way I work. From ethereal crystals, a few years ago, I had a dream. Had a dream about a very good friend of mine that I have traveled with in dreams many, many times with in the past. And in the dream, we were in a place that I would identify as Atlantis. I have been there many times before in dreams and in past life work. And we were in Atlantis, and she was injured. She had an injured shoulder. And in the dream, I was being shown how to use the energy of metals to draw the inflammation out and help with the pain in her shoulder. She was laying on this big stone slab, and there were people all the way around her as well as me, and they were showing me how to do it. And I woke up the next morning really excited about it. And before I could send her a message, she messaged me. And she said, "You were fixing my shoulder last night, and thank you. I have been in so much pain." So I called her and said, "Okay, let's compare notes because this is what happened in my dream." And her dream was very similar, except for, of course, she was the patient. Well, she happens to be a yoga teacher, and she had some nerve damage, some nerve pain going on in her left shoulder. I didn't know that. I hadn't talked to her in, I don't know. She's one of those friends that you can go for months and not talk to, and then, talk to again and still be where you were in the past, right? So I hadn't talked to her in a bit. I had no idea that she was struggling. But anyway, that's how the study of ethereal metals started for me, is from that dream. So then she and I spoke many more times in the next few days, working together on exactly how to do ethereal metals, what it looks like, what it feels like, what metals to use for what thing that you're facing. And from that, ethereal metals have become a part of the healer that I am. Many years ago, that same friend, her name is Trish, she and I we were sitting on the banks of the Snake River, and we were asked to return there on 11/11/11. So that was quite a few years ago, 9 years ago. We were asked to come back on that date for some work, and we did. And we were both gifted an attunement that day from light beings of Merkabas in our heart chakras. And I've told this story lots of times, so I won't go into great detail, but we both received what was kind of like an attunement, these Merkabas in our heart chakras. And then we were shown how to heal with the Merkaba and with the power of the Merkaba. And you might recognize that term, the Merkaba, or some people say Markaba. That is a sacred shape in sacred geometry and has been used a lot. The funny thing is that neither of us knew that. And so After we had that experience, a few months later, we were speaking to a large group about that experience and offering the Merkaba attunement to others so that they could also carry that energy. And someone in the group spoke up and said, "That's a Merkaba, guys." And he explained it to us, and we laughed so hard because we had no idea. But anyway, the working with the energy of the Merkaba became a big part of energy work for me and became a part of the healer that I am. And so I share this path with you guys because I know that every single one of you is a healer in your own right. It's a part of who you are. It is your birthright. It's a part of your gifts, your powers, your skills, whether you have embraced them or you haven't. It doesn't matter. You know, when people, for example, you could go to someone's house and their persnickety cat comes out of the woodwork and wants you to pet him. And they say, "Oh, that's really weird. He doesn't let anyone touch him." But for some reason, he's letting you, you know? Or you pick up the baby that won't stop crying and a few little pats, and baby's happy. And everybody goes, "How did you do that? He's been mean all day." It's because that's the healer that you are, because whatever energy you carry, that's the healing that you are giving to others, whether you mean to or not. People might say to you, "I just feel better when you're here." Yeah, because that's the healer that you are, right? After the first of the year, I am going to offer a few more classes. I know you guys have been asking for some basic energy work classes and then some more advanced ones. I would like to encourage you guys to start examining what kind of healer are you? I see so many of my clients have gone into healing in lots of ways. Maybe you're a nurse, or you're a PA, or you're a doctor, or you're a chiropractor, or you're a pharmacist. You know, I've seen so many of my clients or a massage therapist go into a healing art in some way because you know you're a healer. And energy work could help you to enhance the already marvelous skills that you have. Energy work could help you to manage the energy around you rather than letting the energy around you manage you, which is maybe happening for some of you. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about the healer that I am, the energy work that I do. But I do want to grab a few readings out of the chat room. And so I'm going to start there. Sarah says, "Please help. I don't know what I need, but she needs something." Sarah, I want to do a Merkaba clearing for you. I feel like your energy body is so heavy with other people's energy that how could you know what you need? I feel like you're pulled in so many different directions that what we really need to do is set you free from some of these stuff around you. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start at your feet, commanding a Merkaba clearing, commanding billions of many points of light to flood your system now, completely healing, clearing, and releasing all connections, cords, attachments, psychic debris, psychic attack, any other energetic influence from other people, and any lower vibrating energies that are no longer serving you at this time. Commanding these energies to be healed and cleared and rendered neutral and inert in all directions of time now through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. So I'm just going to watch that move through you, Sarah. Um, if if this was like a client on the phone, we would take a lot more time wading through what we were seeing and clearing. But in the for your privacy and for my time, I won't do that here on the air. But we're just going to move through. Sarah, I'm feeling so much tension in the back of your neck and shoulders. As we move through this, that'll release. It's just that sometimes this work creates that pressure in your chest, neck, shoulders, throat as we're moving through, but we'll get through it. So much energy clearing through your solar plexus. Man, you've had a lot of people dump on your self esteem and self worth and personal power. We're releasing that now so that you can get back to being the force to be reckoned with that you are supposed to be. All right, moving up through your heart and then through your high heart, where a lot of those little cords and connections are actually at. I'm just watching all of those. We're pulling them all right now. And healing those with love and just returning them to everyone else. This is not yours to carry at all. And then I'll just heal that up. Good. Up through your throat. Good. I've got that lifting off your shoulders and neck now. Good release. A little worried about your jaw. Are you clenching at night? There's sure a lot of tension in there, up through the sides of your neck and through your jaw. All righty. Moving through your third eye now and your crown. Let me double check my work. Okay, good. All right, so now I'm going to go back to your feet and command a Merkaba blessing, commanding millions of many points of light to flood your system now, completely shifting your frequency to a place of peace, to a place of confidence, and to a deep inner knowledge that all is well. Commanding these frequencies to shift through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. And again, if we were doing this as a one-on-one healing, we'd take a lot longer to move through, every portion of this to dissect it and make sure that we, hit everything we needed to. But for the purpose of radio, we got to move a little quicker. All right, Sarah, that's so much better. I'm going to clear your aura here quick while we're at it. Actually, that's pretty heavy too. Good, better, much lighter and brighter. That, I hope, Sarah, for you is an opportunity for you to be able to decide what it is you want to do. I think you need to make some changes in your life. You've been pretty stuck. It's been hard to even consider doing. And you don't have to do anything right now, but they're coming. Yeah. Okay. Quick look here in the chat. Mary said the lung doctor canceled. He caught COVID. It delays her treatment and hopefully he recovers. So many depend on him. I feel like Mary, he is getting state of the art care and he will. I definitely, his age, yeah, there's some concerns there, but he's going to be okay. And I feel like you will get back on top of that treatment. All right, Sheila, if you're doing energy readings, I could use a quick clearing. I'm not sleeping. I'm too wired, cranky, and tired. Maybe it's because of what went down with Juan. Her brother was very sick, or maybe the energies around me. I don't know. It's probably both. It's a cocktail. Yeah, Sheila, let's just clear you up here quickly. The energies right now, in general, are so pissed off. Several of you guys have called me in the last couple of days and wondered, why am I so mad and mean and just everything, sets me afire? It's the collective energy. You guys make sure that you are getting outside and getting yourself good and grounded. It's really normal right now to feel mad because the collective energy feels mad. But a lot of you empaths are very uncomfortable with the energy of anger. You don't like feeling that way. And if you don't feel like you're getting on top of it, come and talk to me at 12listen and I'll help clear that up. Sheila, that was a good quick clearing there. Yep. Oh, good. Sarah says, thank you. I can feel lighter already. I don't have that ball in my throat anymore. Excellent, Sarah. That's the goal. Very good. All right. Well, you guys know what happens around here. We've done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. So a reminder, I am a professional psychic advisor at 12listen.com. That's number 1, number 2, listen.com. And I work every day. So you can always find me over there for a reading or a healing, some animal communication, some mediumship. I'll do whatever I can to help out. And of course, you can find me with True Crime Paranormal, and we will be live on Thanksgiving night over on YouTube. So if you guys are feeling a little lonely on Thanksgiving and want something to do or someone to connect to, come and see us. And that's at 8 p.m. Mountain, of course. Thanks you guys so much for being here. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show. here on 1 2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the